Should you be taking risks? If so, how often? What's the line between a calculated risk and straight up just a bad idea? Let's look at your career path, for example. Is it really always a good idea to leave the safe and steady route to, quit, burn the boats, and to never look back, to do what your heart really desires? Like, should you take the risk of buying a course and mentorship with some show-off internet guru so that you can sell random kitchenware from China until eventually you can finally buy a yacht?
Now, I don't have answers for this. That's the thing. No one has. You can't possibly know if you've made the right choice, ever. It's because you can't see the other side. Meaning that maybe you thought this was the safest choice, but it ended up being the most dangerous and insecure. Now, what does that tell us?
Facebook's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, said that the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking any risks. Now, what he means by that is that if you refuse to take any risks, you will pass up every opportunity in front of you in favor of a stable and certain future. Now, having that stability can be very comforting, but it won't provide you with growth or, advancement in any dimension. Okay, so that makes sense. We should take risks. But the question is, how far can you take it? And I think that the answer for that is that you should probably take risks as far as you can afford to lose. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say you quit your job and you sell your house to move to a new country and start a surf shop, and it doesn't work out. Can you come back, live with your parents for a bit until you find a new job? Or will you end up homeless because you have nowhere to go? So here we are again. We should take risk, but that risk should be calculated. But how do you calculate risk? Now, we could take some corporate formula to weigh out the probability of success in every choice you make. You can't use math on most risky choices, right? So generally speaking, just don't take risk based on emotions. Because let's say you feel miserable in your job and you quit in the moment, it's probably not going to end up as well as it could have. What's also very important within taking risky choices is knowing your own capabilities. Because you might have this end goal or vision of what you want the future to be like, but can you really handle, for example, putting in 12 hours of work every day to get to your goal? Like, can you handle your emotions and potential negative thoughts and not get carried away by them? For pretty much any risky thing you want to do, you should do a bunch of research, weigh the pros and cons and see for yourself how realistic it is for it to actually work out. And if things do go bananas, you should probably have a backup plan. All right, Abel, what do we call you? Are you a TV host or rapper or entrepreneur? What can I call you?
Just Abel would be perfect.
Okay, sure. So I know you from Vice, and I've heard your music around as well on parties, and you kind of seem like a very free spirit, right? Like someone who doesn't really give a shit, kind of does whatever. So I wanted to kind of touch upon the subject of taking the risk by not going through, I guess, the traditional route, going to normal school, of going to university and getting a job, but you're starting all of these different projects, basically saying, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever I want. So you kind of resemble that, in my opinion. So could you maybe tell me why you didn't go the traditional route and why you decided to take the risk to figure it all out, for yourself?
When you start not going the route, it's not like I'm not gonna go this route. I've tried it first.
Yeah.
I've tried the route. If you discover the route isn't for you, that's a relief, and then you can see the world for what it is, and then divert from the route.
Okay. So once you step off the train, it's easier to figure out your own way.
To see all the other options.
Yeah.
Because you're
because I don't have that at all. Let's say if I were to quit university, I would have no idea what I'd be doing, except maybe going.
No, but that's the thing. That's the idea. You have no idea at first, and then you figure it out.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So I get overthrown by these sleeky sales guys advertising me their courses or mentorship, so I can escape the notorious 9-to-5 cycle. and start my own online business, would you say quitting your job is like to go balls deep into one of these programs is a risk worth taking? Because like it's sort of becoming like super cool to, I don't know, become a dropshipper or whatever. And a lot of
You
guys,
think
I think,
so?
yeah,
Define cool, bro.
no, but I
It's
mean,
not cool.
it's becoming more popular, I guess. I
Yeah.
see more people doing it, and I think a lot of people are like, would that work for me? You know, could I pull that off?
Okay, wait, let me take it back to like the basics of this route thing
Yes,
you're talking about, right?
please.
So you have like, have you ever heard about like the left hand path and the right hand path?
No.
The right hand path is supposed to like symbolize the school path you were talking about, you know, the carved out path.
Yeah,
Uh,
the system basically.
yeah, and then the left hand path is the rejection of the status quo and basically forming your own path, and that's the left hand path. And it's not like the one is better than the other, but for
Okay.
some people it's in their personality to do the left or the right hand path.
Alright.
I'm a left hand path person, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
I think becoming a drop shipper could be could be a left hand path,
Yeah.
but it's one of the thousands you can choose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
like that's the whole thing with this left-hand path. It's like you make your own. So
Yeah.
drop shipping could be one. I think that's the same with all like self-help gurus and shit.
Yeah.
They have the way to go. You know, they
Exactly.
have the way to go.
What I'm getting from you is if you decide to like drop the school job, the right hand carved out path, there's definitely more options than buying a course from some whatever sleeky sales
Of
dude.
course, but
Fair enough.
you already knew that.
Yeah. Of course. Would you say you're like a risky person? Has like making risky choices gotten you where you are now?
It doesn't feel risky to me
Yeah.
to make a choice that you're fully invested in, that never feels risky because you just believe in it too much. Every time I make a like choice to do a new project or
Yeah.
whatever, I'm so invested in that idea that it does not feel risky to me,
Okay.
because just the failure is not an option in my head. It does fail.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them do fail, but that's after the fact, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, because that was kind of my next question. Like, did you ever make a choice that completely backfired on you? There was like, I can pull this off, but then like looking back at it was like you just cringed because it failed so horribly. Maybe like a risky choice.
All the time. It's all the time.
Okay.
Like most of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you have a fun example?
not sure, not really. Just most of the projects I look back on, I think like I started out wanting to do a particular thing,
Yeah.
and then when I look back on it, I'm like, this is something completely different. It did not succeed. Was fun though, you know. We had fun, and it's still a good thing, and a lot of people enjoy it, but it wasn't the thing I set out to do.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you have like a backup plan because you're really busy with music right now, right? That's what I see of you online. Mm-hmm. What would your alternative be if you weren't doing music at the moment?
The hosting for stuff like Vice. I'm thinking of like a new TV show I want to do, and doing all sorts of shit. Like het risico is gespreid. How do you say that? Like the risk is
spread over all
I
these
spread
options.
the risk.
Yes.
Yeah, and every time I think of something fun and new, I just start doing it to have like that option, and I also know that they will not all succeed.
Yeah. So pretty much spread risks, not corona.
That's it. That's the T-shirt.
Word.
That's the fun shirt.
That's the punchline
Fun
of the
shirt for your
video.
web shop.
Yes.
I'm
All right.
a fraud like Tiger with 2 white frauds, all 3 Xanax drunk.